That's the point.
But the problem with ceding territory is that it's not just an emotional issue, it's often an intractable issue. Would you be happy for the government of India to set up a states reorganization commission or a states boundary commission to resolve this difficult problem?
That is up to the Indians, if they can do that. But here the main...
You would have no objection?
No, the problem is this here. You know, Nagas are skeptical. Why? Because whenever any issue arose in the past, let me say, government of India took side with others, not with the Nagas, always against the Nagas.
But this time round, if they were to set up a reorganization or a re-boundaries drawing commission, and you believed that they were doing it sincerely, and that's an important qualification,
if all the Naga,
then would you accept?
If all the Naga areas would be included, of course, we will, but it has to be a political solution.
It has to be a political solution.
Yeah.
So, on this issue, just to sum up, on this issue of Naga areas outside the present borders of Nagaland, you want a decision in principle recognizing your claim.
Sure.
And then you're prepared to give them a reasonable time frame to fulfill it.
If they're prepared.
If they're prepared.
Yes.
And one route that could be acceptable is a states reorganization or a states boundary commission, provided it's done sincerely.
Well, that is from the Indian side. That is Indian system. We cannot keep ourselves subject to the Indian system. But if they can work out, which can be acceptable to us, of course, we will accept that. But it has to be a political solution.
Now, you often talk about, and the phrase is Nagaland for Christ. What am I to make of this? Do you want a theocratic state?
No, that is not the case. We have been misunderstood about this. No, this is not the law. This is not the law. This is not the compulsion. This is the aspiration of the Naga people, because more than 95% of the populations are Christians. Naturally, they have to profess that way.
So would your proposed Naga state be secular?
Sure. It has to be secular. If it is not secular, then we will be betraying ourselves. Why?
And non-Naga and non-Christian minorities would be secure?
Sure, sure, they would be secured.
You've been talking to the Indian government for 4 months. You've had 8 rounds since you came to India in December. Do you have a deadline in mind, or can the talks continue indefinitely?
I think it is too early to talk about it. Anyway, that is also pertinent in a way. Here, if progress cannot be made, you know, naturally it will be a waste of time.
But so, at the moment, you have said progress is being made.
Slowly, but not on big issues.
Not on big issues. Are you satisfied with the progress, or are you beginning to feel frustrated?
Well, what to do? If we cannot foresee any progress, positive steps to be taken from the Indian side, there's no point to be confident also.
But at this moment, you haven't reached that point. At this moment, you are prepared to give the Indians more time. Is that right?
Yes. But you know, you should not be too presumptuous.
Things could go wrong.
Things can go wrong anytime.
So that the audience can understand, I want to ask you a blunt question. Are you an optimist, or are you becoming pessimistic?
So when I mean to say that if the uniqueness of Naga history is recognized,
and it has been,
and if the solution is to be sought on the basis of this, naturally one has to be hopeful.
And that means that Th.Muivah is hopeful.
It's hopeful so long as it is, I mean, that acceptance of the uniqueness of the Naga history is respected by the present government.
So on that basis, given time and given sincerity, we could have a political solution.
Sure.
Mr. Th.Muivah, pleasure talking to you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Same to you.